Tonight we find out about the craft of the singer-songwriter in the company of Jamie Cullum. Welcome to Masterclass. Jamie Cullum chose jazz, that most difficult and least commercial of music to play and sing, and he became an international star. Having said that, he's a difficult man to pin down, musically speaking. He plays and sings the standards, but he mixes in a contemporary influence: hip-hop, heavy rock, classic funk. His heroes include Cole Porter and Screaming Jay Hawkins, Miles Davis and Metallica. More than that, he married a supermodel and wrote a song for a Clint Eastwood film. Mr. Eastwood is a friend and an admirer. Jamie Cullum has come a long, long way from the lad who made his TV debut on Parkinson in 2003. Welcome, please, Jamie Cullum.
Isn't the same, you'll never change it. As sure as the sun shines above, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody. You don't need just anybody. Find yourself somebody to love.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Cullum. Well, a lot's happened since then, and most of it good, I'm delighted to say.
I can't work out whether my haircut's got worse or better. I'm not sure.
It's about the same. You look about the same. But, I mean, it's extraordinary to think all that time back and you came on more or less as a kind of unknown. I mean, you were making a name for yourself. And now you made this huge name for yourself in many, many areas of music. Did you ever imagine that you would actually achieve what you've achieved?
I think I hear a lot of artists say this when they achieve some level of success, and they say, I never expected it. It really took a turn that I didn't expect. And I can only concur with that. I had absolutely no idea. I mean, you have to remember that my goals as a musician weren't to play on your show. They weren't to be on TV at all. You know, I was hoping to I was thinking about being a session musician with other bands and, you know, doing my kind of jazz thing on the side. And you know, I was hoping to play at Ronnie Scott someday, or the 606 Club, or the Pizza Express. You know, yes. I didn't think I'd be releasing an album on a major label and being on a massive TV show like that. I mean, you can probably tell by the suit I was wearing.
It's a very nice suit. It was an Oxfam suit, wasn't it?
It was ever so slightly tailored to fit my tiny man frame. But yeah, it was an Oxfam suit. Yeah.
What's interesting is you know, finding out the source of a talent, basically. And with you, with the amount of talent you've got, you would imagine that from the very beginning that you're driven to actually, you know, become a star or whatever it might be, to make music your life. And yet again, that's not true, is it? I mean, you kind of fell into music, didn't you, rather than have a severe ambition toward it?
I did. I mean, I was surrounded by music in my house, yes. That's for sure. So there were no professional musicians in my house as such, but, you know, my brother was definitely, my older brother, Ben, was working towards... You know, he was doing other things, but music was in his bones, and I think I copied him a lot. My mum and dad played and sang. They did a few gigs on the side, but they both had other jobs. And, you know, my mum sang in choir, and my dad would play 3 chords on the guitar and things like that. But I think when I was growing up, I was in school plays, and, you know, I was occasionally given the solo to sing at some school concert, but it was always under duress. I never wanted to do it. I think I remember my auntie forcing me to sing The Snowman once, because I had this freakishly high voice, which was not helpful in making girlfriends at all. But I think maybe if my school friends were to answer this question, they'd probably go, "Oh, yeah, he always wanted to do that." But
Yes.
I really don't remember it that way. I remember making music for fun and enjoying it, thinking I'd be a writer, thinking I'd be, you know, thinking I'd go to university and do English lit and maybe work for a newspaper or try and write a novel or something.
But what led you into jazz? Because you and I know that, you know, jazz isn't an open door. It was for my generation, but certainly not for your generation, and you had to go and find it. So where was it in your life? When did it first come to you?
Jazz came to me through, I guess, the culture of record collecting. So the way I would explain it is I became kind of obsessed with collecting music and going to record fairs and stuff. And this really came a lot through hip-hop culture, where they were sampling old records, you know, the bands like Tribe Called Quest and the Beat Nuts and all these kind of hip-hop bands that I knew about when I was...
That I've never heard of.
Yeah, well, yeah. But the thing is, you would know a lot of the music they sampled.
Yes, sure.
You know, Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis,
Of course.
even like Benny Goodman. You know, they were taking snippets of this music, and I became fascinated with that.
So that's where you got the idea of that cross-fertilisation then, which has happened in your music.
Well, I went backwards, so I would start there, and then I gradually started kind of collecting records. And you know, my brother was getting into Herbie Hancock, and we were getting into this music called drum and bass, which was happening around Bristol, where we were growing up. And a lot of the drum and bass people were saying, "Oh, this comes from Herbie Hancock," and we'd buy the Herbie Hancock records and then start going through his back catalogue. And around the same time, I saw Harry Connick Jr. on TVAM or something like that, one of those old, you know, morning shows. And there was this young guy, and he was playing the piano really well. He was singing with this amazing voice, and he seemed really cool. And those kind of two things kind of started to come together at the same time.
What's amazing again about you is that you, well, will be demonstrated in a moment, the way that you play piano, the wonderful mastery you seem to have of the instrument, and yet you can't read music. And you failed your grade 4 piano. I mean, I find this quite extraordinary. I mean, explain yourself, man. I mean, our hero, Oscar Peterson, played, you know, he was a classically trained jazz pianist, or pianist.
Well, first of all, you're very kind. I do not have a mastery of the piano at all, and that's not me being modest at all. I have a grasp of what I'm trying to do, but I'm able to make the piano do what I want it to do, but there are millions of things I want it to do that I can't do yet. And I learned instinctively. I did have lessons when I was younger, and I did okay. You know, I didn't win any competitions. I may have won 1 out of the 20 I did or something like that, but I was not particularly gifted at the more kind of scholastic route of music. The bit I found very hard was playing tunes that seemed so easy when the teacher would play them for me. I could go, "Oh, well, I can play that." But then if I had to read them off the page, I just couldn't.
So you could follow instinctively.
Yeah, I think my ear was so developed from a very early age that in order to do the kind of the slow motion stuff of learning tunes with the notes, it seemed kind of boring to me. So I think that the boredom factor took over, and I didn't really get into it after that.
But are you going to learn how to... I mean, you want to write music, so you would have to learn, would you not, to...
Well, absolutely. I mean, I've already started a little bit of a few lessons and learning actually what the notes properly mean, and just understanding some of the stuff that will really help me compose better music, really. And film music, too. I read that you were thinking along those lines, which brings us to your friendship with Clint Eastwood. When I interviewed him at the BBC, I mean, he spoke of nothing else but you. I mean, he's such a fan of yours, and through the relationship with Kyle, his son, of course, who was a jazz player, that's how you met him. And tell me the story of how you wrote the song for, or how you came to write the music song for Gran Torino. Well, I actually ended up working on something else by accident for Clint without even realising it. I had a studio in Shepherd's Bush for a while, and Kyle Eastwood and his friend and producer, Michael Stevens, would come down and use the studio, and they stored some of their equipment there as well. And one day we were there at the same time, and they were working on music for a film called Grace Is Gone, which Clint co-produced, and he actually ended up writing some of the music for as well, because Clint actually writes music, is amongst the many other things he can do. But I did meet Clint through that, and when he was starting to think about filming Gran Torino, Kyle brought the script over to my hotel when I was staying in America, and they said, "Look, we've got some ideas for the music for this film. Would you help with the music and help write a song and write some lyrics?" And So 3 days later, I'd read the script and I was in Clint Eastwood's guest house at the piano with Kyle and Clint and the producer Michael, and we sat there and we wrote this music, and then I took all that away and wrote lyrics back in London. About a month later, I recorded it back in Clint's house, and a month later, it was in the film.
So would you then, for the first song tonight, would you play that for us?
I'd love to.
There you
Sure.
are. Jamie Cullum, the piano awaits you. Jamie Cullum.
Realign all the stars above my head. The warning signs travel far. A drink instead on my own. Oh, how I've known the battle scars and worn out beds. Gentle now, a tender breeze blows, whispers through the Gran Torino, whistling another tired song. Engines hum and better dreams grow, a heart locked in a Gran Torino beats a lonely rhythm all night long. These streets of old, they shine with the things I've known, and breaks through the trees, they're sparkling. Your world is nothing more than all the tiny things you've left behind. So realign all the stars above my head. The warning signs travel far. Drink instead on my own. Oh, how I've known the battle scars and worn out beds. Gentle now, a tender breeze blows, whispers through the Gran Torino, whistling another tired song. Engines hum and better dreams grow, a heart locked in the Gran Torino, it beats a lonely rhythm all night long. It beats a lonely rhythm all night long. It beats a lonely rhythm all night long.
This business is about writing songs. I mean, let's explore that for a moment. It's the old question, isn't it? What comes first, the music or the lyric? Or where does the inspiration come from?
You know, for me, it does come from a lot of different places. I don't think that's uncommon. I mean, it can come from a simple thing as a drum beat. I can have a drum beat in my head, and that can spark off a song. It can just be a title. Just the title can make me want to write a song. The song 20-something I wrote for the album 20-something, that was a title long before it was a song. I'm like, I want to write a song about being a 20-something, and the song appeared in my head while I had the title. Other times, what I'll tend to do when I'm writing a song, a typical day, I'll sit down and I'll do what you're fishing. You know, I'll literally, I'll stick the line out and go, okay, and just start playing some chords. Just first thing that comes under my fingers. That's the first thing. And then what you do is you improvise over the top. Do 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 do. When I see you in the hallway, you are standing there in 3D. And I know that's all in my way, 'cause you wanna be with me. When I open the door and I see that you're there, I know you wanna be with me. I know you wanna be with me. And what I'm doing there is...
You just made that up.
I did. Please don't clap that, because the danger is that you'll think that, oh, he worked it out before he got here. And the thing is, you've got to trust that something you sing... The beauty of doing that in private is that you can sing about smelly socks or, you know, or dog turds on the street or whatever. Just the thing that comes out of your head first. And you trust that something will happen. And what I'll do is I'll set my tape recorder going and I would just play. I could do that for 45 minutes. And then I'll listen back to it, and maybe 10 seconds of it will be something that I'll use.
All right. So
and be the basis of the song.
And I see. Yeah. Fascinating process. And I suppose some days you sit there, nothing comes at all. That's in... I mean, it's the thing about inspiration, perspiration, isn't it? I mean...
Those days are really hard, but I think actually part of doing it now for a while is that you have to accept that those days where you get nothing are really important, because that can take 5 to 10 days, that can take 1 day where you literally get nothing, you sit there, but it's important to sit there for those hours and for nothing to come, because something will happen. You just have to trust that something will happen.
What about still on the area of songwriters you particularly like? Do you have a song that whenever you hear it, you think, oh, I wish I'd written that song?
Many songs make me feel like that, but I think if I had to choose a kind of like a perfect song, lyrically, melodically, and actually my definition of a perfect song is not just beautiful lyrics and beautiful melodies, but also something that can be sung by lots of different people and survive all the different interpretations. Taking us back to standards, and actually Randy Newman does that so well. I'm a huge Randy Newman fan.
Me too.
And I think It's Gonna Rain Today, which was probably made more famous, sung by other people, is first 4 lines of that tune are about as perfect as a song can be in my mind. Well, the first 4 lines are all you need to get the taster of this song.
Broken windows and empty hallways, a pale dead moon and a sky streaked with grey. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. It's perfect. If that's all the song was, you know.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Now, what about your love of great writers? I mean, you love the Great American Songbook, and you particularly love Cole Porter. I read a quote from you the other day saying, I keep going back to Porter. Why? Why particularly Porter?
I'm not sure I understand that myself yet, because there are certainly songwriters, you know, from that era that I hold in as high regard. You know, Irving Berlin, Gershwin, of course. There's so many of them, but there's something about the combination of the melody and the wit in the storytelling, and also he is humour, not only in his lyrics, but also in the way the lyrics interact with the music. And I think, you know, structurally, the songs are always... They don't fit into exactly the same kind of pattern that the rest of standards do. They're always slightly too long, and, you know, they're big, weighty things. And I feel that that the lightness of them is not always an indication of how much depth they have in them. And I think that's great when you can sneak that into the consciousness, these really clever ideas in a song that is essentially could be sung by a 5-year-old.
You've chosen "I Got You Under My Skin." Does that fill all that you've just said? Does that justify all that stuff?
It justifies all of that and then some. And you know, when I sit down at the piano, this is one of those songs I just always feel like playing. So yeah.
we always feel like listening to it. It's a gem. Jamie, there you go.
Well, I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near. In spite of the warning voice that comes in the night, it repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, that you never can win? Use your mentality, wake up to reality. And each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart, you're really a part of me. And I've got you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in, and I've said to myself, this affair is never gonna go so well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know so well? So I've got you under my skin. Sacrifice anything, I come what might, for the sake of having you near. In spite of the warning voice that comes in the night, it repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, that you never can win? Use your mentality, wake up to reality. And each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Well, I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near. In spite of the warning voice that comes in the night, it repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, you fool, that you never can win? Use your mentality, wake up to reality. And each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you, oh, 'cause I need you, oh, 'cause I love you, baby, oh, 'cause 'cause I need you. 'Cause I love you and your friend. 'Cause I need you as my girl, and maybe with your friend as well. Oh, 'cause you're both really fine. Yeah, 'cause I love ya. Oh, baby, 'cause I need you. Oh, 'cause I've got you under my skin.
OK, we've got question and answer now. And first up, Mr. Paul Campbell Kelly. Where are we?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
On the recent Radio 2 Today special, Claire Teal said that she thought it'd be a great idea if up and down the country town halls on a Friday night had a big band to go dance to again. And I just wonder what you thought the next mass appeal opportunity might be for jazz musicians.
Yeah.
I probably my answer would be quite controversial. I think, you know, there was a time where, you know, jazz, you know, what we call jazz, big band music, swing music, it was the pop music of its day. It's what the, you know, the kids were dancing to. And I think we'd be in a very odd place if that's what the kids were still dancing to now. But all I know is, as a jazz fan, when I go out anywhere, if I know where to go, you can find a thriving, banging jazz scene. There are young people up and down the country. They're making their own worlds, they're making their own scenes, and they're keeping it alive. And I think it's easy to romanticize the idea of, oh, wouldn't it be great? But, you know, the big bands need to be paid. And, you know, people have got to turn up and stuff like that. And I think that stuff is happening, but it's not happening in the same way as it was. So yeah. I'm a big believer in constantly saying that, you know, that people say, oh, jazz is dead, or, you know, there's not as much jazz as there was. There's tons of it. You just got to know where to look, and it's normally on after midnight.
Yeah. I think one of the question might also have been hinting at the fact that it's really what the difference nowadays, you can't hear that kind of music on radio. But I mean, my point would be that your part in this is significant, that you found a way actually of marrying jazz to contemporary music and making it, therefore, a form of introduction to younger people, as well as satisfying those of us who, you know, long for the old days when it was switched the radio on, there was Frank Sinatra and Count Basie. But demonstrate to us, if you would, an example of that, of the marrying of two different kinds of music into something which is more than acceptable to all of us.
Well, I mean, this is a very literal example. This is literally kind of marrying the old and the new, but this is something that happened completely by accident when I was playing. It's a favourite old song of mine from one of my favourite musicals, one of the greatest musicals of all time, Singing in the Rain, you know, so I've played it for some time. You know, usual chords.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. And then here comes the riff, the da da do do da 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 do do da da do do da da. And that was going round in my head. Then I heard a beat. Started playing different chords over it. And then I thought, well, why don't I start singing Rihanna's Umbrella underneath this? You had my heart, we'll never be worlds apart. Maybe in magazines will you still be my star? Baby, 'cause in the dark you can see shiny cars. That's when you leave me there, 'cause with you I'll always share. Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. I told you, baby, I'll be here forever. I said I always can be a friend. I took an oath to stick it out to the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, I told you we'll still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Say Ella, Ella, E, 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 under my umbrella. Didn't I do, but didn't I do, but didn't I do, but under my umbrella. Say Ella, Ella, E, do, but didn't I 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 do.
I mean, what are you working toward? There's a sense when you listen to your music and listen to your albums and go through the succeeding albums of the restlessness about, you know, what you're looking for. Do you know what you're looking for? Are you still searching for it? And what is it basically?
I wish I knew. I don't know what I'm looking for. I think I'm always trying to balance the great interpreters that I like, that we share a love of. You know, Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Oscar Peterson, the interpreters, the jazz musicians, the bands, Count Basie, Charles Mingus, and balancing that with actually the songwriter. And the songwriter doesn't always want to write songs that are busy with chords and busy with improvisation. And as soon as you start to take all those things away, it becomes much less jazz and much more, you know, pop or folk or whatever you want to call it. So somewhere between the two, I hear the songwriter who writes songs that are hopefully of interest to people and, you know, examine whatever kind of human experience it's writing about. Yes. That is also a basis for improvisation. It means I can play the piano and explore the song I've written, explore the chords, and capturing performances on record and live. You know, these days, so often when you see a performance on TV, it's a very carefully scripted performance that's played to a click in someone's ear. And actually, I try to record things and reference things with a sense of ebb and flow to it, so it's not trapped in that box.
The great joy of the Great American Songbook was beautifully structured songs which allowed a jazz musician to get in there and explore them, and they're beautifully framed and constructed. But you can make you do make your music out of modern pop songs. Rihanna, for instance, we heard one Rihanna song, another Rihanna song which you're going to play for us tonight. Again, a very simple song, not one that you normally associate with a jazz interpretation. No,
I mean, you know, the song I've been doing a lot of that's a Rihanna song is called Don't Stop the Music, and really that's a 2-chord song, you know. That's it. I mean, that's literally all it is, with a real, you know, with a beat and a really kind of great fun lyric.
It's not Cole Porter, is it?
It's not Cole Porter, but you see, the thing is, I heard that song. I was in a club, you know, it was 2 in the morning, and this thing was banging down my ears at 1,000 decibels, and I was like, oh, I love. There was something about it that I loved, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I think initially it was the lyric. The song is called Don't Stop the Music, and I love songs about music, you know, so I thought there hadn't been a really good song about music for a while, so that's what kind of sparked my interest. And I thought, what would happen if I add a few more chords to it, you know? So I started just playing around with the main chords. And then I thought, well, if I take it up into a major key up here, it would add to some kind of, it would kind of develop it a bit more in the context of what I was doing.
Sure.
And then what happened was I would go back to a standard, like If I Ruled the World, which I do. That's, of course, you know, Harry Seacombe and Tony Bennett made famous. And I started taking chords away from that. So If I Ruled the World is, you know, it's proper kind of all over the place kind of song. I actually ended up just putting 3 chords in it. If I ruled the world, every day would be the first day of spring. I mean, when my mum first heard that, she was freaked out. She was like, "What have you done with the chords? How could you do that?" But it's almost by reducing it, I took it back more to who I was.
Yes.
And, you know, I actually really love a lot of modern pop music. I don't feel snooty about it. I love the way it's produced. I love some of the way it sounds. I love that it makes me dance. I love watching the reaction on people's faces when they hear those 3-minute little gems of songs that are made to sound to what ears are attuned to listen to today. And I love taking it back to what I do at the piano and trying to make something out of it.
And you love also, too, the showbiz aspect of it, in the sense that, you know, that a lot of rock music, particularly modern music, is actually about projection. Jazz often is very quiet and introspective, and you brought that to it, too, which, again, excites the younger audience. All right, then demonstrate this with the Rihanna song, then. Please don't stop the music, what we've been talking about.
You might get hurt in this one. All right?
It's getting late. I'm making my way over to my favorite place. Gotta get my body moving, shake the stress away. Wasn't looking for nobody, but when you looked my way, possible candidate. Who knew that you'd be up in here looking like you do? You're making staying over here impossible. Baby, I'ma say your aura is incredible. If you don't have to go, don't. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party. Now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, just a chest. Now we're face to face, 'cause I wanna take you away. Let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away. Let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. 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 I said, baby, are you ready? 'Cause it's getting close. Don't you feel the passion ready to explode? What goes on between us, no one has to know. This is a private show, yeah. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party. Now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, chest to chest. Now we're face to face, 'cause I wanna take you away. Let's escape into the music. A DJ, let it play. I like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away. let's escape into the music. A DJ, let it play. I like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the, please don't stop the, please don't stop the music. 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 Please don't stop. Please don't stop. Please don't stop. Mama say, mama san, mama kusan. 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 I wanna take you away. Let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the, please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away. Let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the, please don't stop the, please don't stop the music.
You knocked the stuffing out of that one, that's for sure. That's wonderful. Let's just, toward the end of the show, let's take some final questions from the audience. Karin Bittleston. Karin.
Hello, Michael. Hello, Jamie. I wanted to ask you about my talented daughter who I'm trying to encourage her to sing. And I was going to ask you what advice you would give to somebody starting out.
Yeah, that's really hard. I think they've got to find it themselves. I definitely kind of passionately believe about that. Do you find that your house is a house where there's music on a lot? Yeah. I think that's probably it. I did not desperately want to sing when I was younger, but after a while, if you hear enough Stevie Wonder in your house, you're going to try and sing, which is what happened to me. And I grew up in a house where the radio was on more than the TV, I think, and it just, you know, whether it sounded the 60s on a Saturday morning or, you know, Stevie Wonder or James Taylor or Otis Redding, whatever it was on in the house, it obviously seeped into my consciousness. So keep the record player on, if you've got one. Keep the iPod on, and it'll come, I reckon.
And the next question, and last question tonight, comes from Claire Sharp. Claire, where are you?
I was just wondering if you've ever had any really embarrassing moments on stage.
Oh, my God. You could rewrite War and Peace with the amount of embarrassing moments I've had on stage. I do that a lot. I do a lot of falling over. I mean, there's quite a famous one of me trying to do a running jump over the piano during the end of a song and missing and slipping and hitting my head and bleeding on the piano and on the front row. That wasn't so much embarrassing, more disgusting. I did have one lady climb onto the stage and try and first of all remove my clothes and then her clothes. Sadly, it wasn't the kind of lady that you would hope was doing that. That was ever so slightly embarrassing.
OK, well, that's what, Jamie, all that remains for me to say is thank you. I mean, it's been a wonderful evening. I've really enjoyed talking to you and finding out about how you go about your business. And I'm delighted that you've been my guest. And I must say that in all the years I've been working in this business, I've not met anybody from whom music spills out like it does from you. It's a real pleasure to watch it, the way that you operate and the way that you give. An amazing performance. Thank you very much indeed, Jamie Cullum.
Thank you.